Madre mía, por tu tono parece algo serio. ¿Qué ocurrió durante el viaje con Marta?
Pues resulta que se lió con el cajero del supermercado y estoy desesperado.
I'll be honest with you. I've never been a huge fan of language learning apps. I've tried quite a few, and I even experimented with AI tools like ChatGPT to practice speaking in different languages. But after the first wave of excitement passes, I'm usually left unimpressed. Maybe it's just me, but I haven't been impressed by many language learning apps until recently. Roughly a month ago, I stumbled upon something that completely changed the game: Langua. This app blew me away, and it continues to tickle my language fancy. It's a one-stop solution for learning and improving multiple languages. Whether you want to read, write, listen, or most importantly, speak, Langua is absolutely phenomenal. I love it so much that I've used it every single day for the past month without fail. It's that great. You can check it out for yourself by clicking on the link in the description. And even more, you can save 20% on their annual plans if you use the code LUCA20 on the checkout page. Yes, I have an affiliate program with Langua, but this collaboration happened because I genuinely believe it's worth the hype. So let's get into how you can go from frustrated to fluent with the help of Langua.
Hola Luca, ¿qué tal estás? ¿Y de qué te apetece hablar hoy?
Hola, sabes, necesito hablar contigo. Algo muy fuerte ha pasado.
Vaya, cuéntame qué ha pasado. ¿Qué es eso tan fuerte?
Pues no estoy bien para nada. Sabes, fuimos a Ibiza, ¿te acuerdas? El aniversario de Marta, mi novia polaca, y pues pasó algo.
Madre mía, por tu tono parece algo serio. ¿Qué ocurrió durante el viaje con Marta?
Pues resulta que se lió con el cajero del supermercado y estoy desesperado.
Joder, lo siento muchísimo, Luca. Esa traición duele una barbaridad. ¿Cómo te enteraste de lo que pasó?
So after you witnessed my kind of tragic conversation with AI, I'm going to show you how I made it happen, how I set it up. So let's go to settings to the left. The only thing you need to do is to select the language. In this case, it's Spanish. There's a lot of languages here you can choose from. In this case, we're focusing on Spanish. And then you can choose your preferred dialect, Castilian Spanish or Latin American Spanish. So I had that set up, Castilian Spanish, but you can click on Latin American Spanish and here you go. And then you have another option, what language should we show translation in? This is going to be quite useful and I'm going to show you in a second why. And then you can choose your level, beginner, basic, intermediate, or upper intermediate or advanced, which is the option I chose for Spanish because I think I speak Spanish decently. And then of course, on which days of the week do you plan to use Langua? Basically, I clicked on everything. So I'm going to have a conversation every single day with Langua. So here is a simple way in which you can set up a conversation in one of the many languages that they have. It's pretty fun. So now I want to have another conversation in another language, and I'm going to go for French. Here we have the same settings, save settings, and then let's click on speak. And here we go. Chat about anything, general conversation.
Salut Lucas, comment vas-tu? De quoi tu veux qu'on parle aujourd'hui?
Bonjour, aujourd'hui j'aimerais bien parler de nourriture.
Ah, la bouffe, un de mes sujets préférés. Quel type de cuisine tu aimes le plus?
Bien sûr la cuisine italienne, parce que c'est la meilleure du monde, n'est-ce pas?
Ah, je m'attendais à cette réponse. La cuisine italienne est délicieuse, mais franchement, je trouve que la cuisine française est tout aussi exceptionnelle. Qu'est-ce que tu préfères comme plat italien?
Alors, tout d'abord, parlons petit déjeuner. En Italie, on commence avec un cornetto, léger, parfait, avec un café. Tandis qu'en France, c'est quoi? Une baguette dure comme un bâton de marche?
Rire. Pas si vite avec les critiques. Le petit déjeuner français, c'est un croissant tout chaud et croustillant, ou des pains au chocolat qui fondent dans la bouche, certainement pas une baguette rassis. Comment tu peux comparer un cornetto à la perfection d'un croissant au beurre?
Okay, never offend the French with pâtisserie. Anyway, this is just a short conversation. I wanted just to show you how natural it is to converse with AI, and I wanted to show you a couple of other features which are pretty cool. You can see here there's 3 boxes below the first line and 3 boxes below mine, and you have it for each line. So this one is just to listen to what the AI said.
Salut Lucas, comment vas-tu? De quoi tu veux qu'on parle aujourd'hui?
This one is to listen to the same thing, but a slow down version of it.
Salut Lucas, comment vas-tu?
It's a little bit boring, but still, if you are a beginner, that's a great option. And then you have the translation. You see, I just can click on that button, and you see the translation of what he said. The same goes for my own lines here, this button here. But then you have two other lines which are pretty cool, which I'm going to show you in the next conversation, which is in German. Okay, and now let's have another conversation, this time in German. So I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to change the language from French to German. And here we go. So let's get started.
Hallo Luca, wie geht's dir heute? Worüber möchtest du reden?
Hey, ich bin echt sauer und total fertig, Mann.
Ach du meine Güte, das klingt ja gar nicht gut. Was ist denn passiert?
In meinem letzten Video, wo ich in 8 Sprachen gesprochen habe, hat jemand kommentiert, dass mein Deutsch zum Kotzen ist. Kannst du dir vorstellen?
Boah, was für ein Idiot. Solche negativen Kommentare im Internet sind meistens von frustrierten Menschen, die selbst keine Fremdsprache sprechen können. Was machst du normalerweise, um mit solchen blöden Kommentaren umzugehen?
Weißt du was? Normalerweise ist es mir total egal, aber das hat mich echt getroffen.
Das kann ich total verstehen. 8 Sprachen zu sprechen ist eine krasse Leistung. Und dann kommt so ein dummer Kommentar. Was hältst du davon, den Kommentar einfach?
Also im Allgemeinen finde ich, dass das sehr schlimm ist. Es gibt im Internet diese ganzen Fake-Polyglotten, die kaum einen Satz sprechen können, aufbauen können. Aber alle feiern sie, ach, Sprachgenies. Weißt du was? Es ist unfair.
Da hast du echt einen wichtigen Punkt. Dieses oberflächliche Influencer-Getue nervt mich auch total. Wie bist du eigentlich dazu gekommen, so viele Sprachen zu lernen?
Danke für die Frage. Ich liebe Fremdsprachen im Allgemeinen. Ich fing an, Fremdsprachen zu lernen, als ich relativ jung war. Und das ist alles.
Das klingt nach einer echten Leidenschaft, nicht nach diesem typischen Social-Media-Angeben. Was reizt dich denn an der deutschen Sprache besonders?
Es ist eine lange Geschichte. Ich fing an, Deutsch zu lernen, als ich 15 war. Und dann traf ich viele Deutsche in Sardinien. Und das war der Hammer.
Das klingt nach einer schönen Erfahrung in Sardinien. Manchmal sind es genau diese persönlichen Begegnungen, die eine Sprache lebendig machen. Welchen deutschen Film oder welche Serie schaust du am liebsten?
Das ist eine sehr interessante Frage. Was Filmen angeht, Der Untergang ist ein krasser Film, den ich vor 2 Wochen gesehen habe.
Der Untergang ist wirklich heftig. Bruno Ganz spielt den Hitler so erschreckend überzeugend. Was hat dich an dem Film am meisten beeindruckt?
So you can see here this conversation that started with my depression for getting a bad comment, and then it's really natural. It's really nice to converse with AI, and I wanted to show you here a couple of other things I talked to you about before, because you've seen the translation here, but now you can see something else by clicking on this pen, which is pretty cool, and that is corrections. So no errors detected, nice work. But in general, if you make a mistake, it will show you the mistake or the mistakes that you made, and then it also gives you an explanation. Let's see if I made some mistakes in the lines below. And then you also have another one here, another icon. And if you click on that icon, it gives you an alternative way of saying the same thing. So here I said, for example, hey, ich bin echt sauer und total fertig, Mann. I am angry and tired, right? Alternative, Mensch, ich bin richtig wütend und komplett erschöpft. This is another nice way, more refined actually, to say the same thing. Here, the same thing, we can take a look at the alternative and also the mistakes. For example, here I said, in meinem letzten Video, in dem, just corrected wo instead of in dem, kannst du dir das vorstellen? And also here, dass mein Deutsch zum Kotzen ist. It just corrected the fact that the K is not capital K, but that's totally fine. And then I can click on check and explain, and as you can see here, it also gives you the explanation of why I made these mistakes, which is a very, very cool feature. So I can keep clicking, for example, here on these icons to see an alternative way of saying things, my mistakes, etc., etc. And it's really cool. Also, on top of that, the translation, of course. And then what you can do at the end, you can do something very, very cool. And that is the following. You click on this icon here, which is a sort of a telephone icon. And if you click on that, you can choose between these options. Get my feedback report, download transcript, and the chat without feedback. Of course, I want some feedback. So I'm just going to click on get my feedback report. It takes around 10-20 seconds. Sometimes it's even faster. And basically, as you're going to see right now, you're going to see the entire feedback as if a tutor had listened to you and had prepared a feedback at the end of the conversation, which is nothing short of amazing. So for example, here you can see what you did well, excellent use of colloquial expressions and idioms like zum Kotzen, der Hammer, total fertig, strong ability to express emotions, etc., etc. And then it also gives you areas for improvement, some issues with case agreements, occasional word order mistakes and subordinate clauses, minor article and gender errors. And of course, it gives you a list of all the corrections here, things you did well, things you did not do well, the mistakes you made, and also not only the correction, the explanation, but also the alternative, which is very cool because this allows you to improve upon your chat. And also, on top of that, you also have a cultural tip here. It's pretty cool. As you can see, your reference to Der Untergang shows cultural awareness. The film is particularly significant in German culture, etc., etc. And if you want, you can download a combined report and transcript. Just clicking on it, it shows you directly the PDF that you can basically download. You can upload it on your phone, you can print it, you can do whatever you want. This is absolutely fantastic because once you get this feedback, you can actually reuse this feedback in order to improve. Something, for example, that I do is to read the feedback during the same session. I have a 15-minute conversation with AI. I'll read the feedback for 5-10 minutes. And then the following day, I have the same conversation, or better, a conversation about the same topic, and I integrate all the new words and the mistakes and, the other things that I read on this report. Is really cool. And if you do it every single day, and this is at the end of the day what really counts, if you chat with AI every single day, then you can improve pretty fast because you can align the fact that you can speak with it every single day, something that is difficult to do if you have, for example, a tutor. It's difficult to set up a conversation every single day with a tutor. And on top of that, it's also expensive. You also get feedback. You get all the feedback you want. And there's no stress involved because you're talking to a machine, and talking to a human in flesh and blood is a different experience. This is one of the reasons why Langua is so cool. But this is just one of the many features that AI contains. I've showed you just the features that are related to the speaking part, but there's many more, and if you want, I can show them to you in another video.
Can you see why I'm in love? Jokes aside, whether you're a beginner looking to start chatting and building simple sentences, or an intermediate learner aiming to take your conversations, grammar, and vocabulary beyond the intermediate plateau, Langua is the answer to your prayers. You can subscribe for free and start using it today, just to test the waters. If you become addicted, don't worry. It's completely normal because I am a fellow addict. And if you love it as much as I do, then don't forget to use my exclusive code LUCA20 for 20% off on the annual plans. In case you're wondering, that's roughly 3 to 4 months for free. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy language learning. And la próxima vez que nos veamos será en español.